Welcome to Framework Fortune and welcome back Framework Fortune community. I'm your host Ben and we've got our co-host H&H Trader Hal in the house tonight. How's it going, Hal?
Going good, man.
You sound sad today.
Another beautiful day in the market, but
well, it's time for you guys' episode of The Last Strip where we recap some of the trades we took, look for some trades for tomorrow, and look at some of the top gainers on the day. So time is our most valuable asset. Let's not waste any more of it and dive right in. Saw a little dip in the SPY and some of the ETFs, the NASDAQ composite here. Then they rebounded. So really not much movement still in the stock market. Just feels pretty light in volume, especially where we're trading at right now.
Looks like it's finally getting a little bit of weakness, but it looks like it still got bought up off back over that whatever that green line is you got. 20-day?
10-day, yeah.
10-day.
I don't know. That is a little ugly reverse U-shape there, a little curl down.
Mm-hmm.
If the market doesn't rebound tomorrow, then I would say we'll probably have a pullback. See, look right there. There was that same curl right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it dipped down to the 50s. So, I mean, we're due for it anyway.
What you end up trading the day after your power outage or during your? Did you trade from your phone?
No. Well, I had to kind of hold my phone and trade with it after my power went out. It was unfortunate. It went out during the middle of the live stream. So if you were there with us this morning and you didn't know what happened because my face just froze, tree went down in my neighbor's power lines, big whole entire tree. So I didn't have power for about 8 hours today. Really fun. But yeah, I pretty much just got out of everything that I was in at that point besides AHPI. I'm still holding AHPI, but took a trade on BTBT this morning. It was looking like it was going to make that same pattern that it's been making when it had the breakouts on the 5 minute. It had that dump down, then got bought up off of 15 hard and started pushing back up. So break of 16, I jumped in there because that was right there, the pre-market high kind of area that got held up as resistance. And it did shoot up to 1620. It was trying to consolidate, but then just dumped down. I just had to get out of there. So I took a $27 loss on that one. BTBT is still holding a 10-day moving average. So I'm expecting a rebound tomorrow because cryptos are still hot. And this is going against the cryptos at this point. Like I expected a pullback because we went so high up, but we're starting to build support here right across this 15. So if that confirms tomorrow, I think this will rip up.
We can start with CWBR.
Oh yeah, I traded this one too.
I saw a little bit of consolidation here. I saw this little, that little double bottom where that red and that green are almost the same size right there. Entered in 400 shares right there. And man, I was looking for it to move a little bit higher. It faked a couple of times, gave some wicks, and I was like, well, maybe this is going to be a sporadic stock and break over the wicks. It did not do that. I stopped out. I think I took a 5-cent loss on half and a 6-cent loss on the rest. So it was about like a $4 loss overall.
Yeah, it got me too, man. It looked pretty good. The way it was building up in pre-market, it held up very nicely. And then, like you said, threw a couple of wicks up there. It looked like it was going to try to break $2 strong because it was holding $2 as support for so long. So I got in a little bit before you, 100 shares, and held through it. And then as soon as it broke below $2, I stopped out at the 193. Yep. So I lost $21 on it, and it just died the rest of the day too. So I don't think, did that have any news today?
It had some PR about earnings or something, I believe. They just hired.
Oh no, they had a human trial obesity treatment that met
obesity
primary endpoints.
Yeah, wait, so nobody believed in that at all.
Well, I can see why, because the treatment to obesity is eat less food. So.
Yeah. But the way that it was setting up, it really was a bull trap.
Yeah, it was definitely a bull trap. It got both of us. And I'm sure it got some other traders too.
MOXC. This was off stream. All right, so it consolidated in this range for a while. And I was like, okay. And it came up right there on that green candle in the middle. You just pass it to the left. with the
Okay.
there. And I was like, all right, if this can start working its way back up there, I'm gonna go ahead and take it. So I took it on that red candle. If you go to the right, that small red candle, that's where I got in, and it just couldn't get going, man. It just went up a little bit, pulled back hard, and I was like, well, I'm gonna have to stop out of this.
That was a little triangle play there, and it just failed. It did a
Yep.
fake out breakout, threw that wick up there to 960, and then just dumped another bull trap.
Mm-hmm.
Which, and right here there was that same type of triangle of consolidation, and it broke up. So that just, I'm sure that got a lot of people too.
Yep, got me. And then the last one that I traded, which was the best one, was ACY.
Yeah, ACY is top gainer on the NYSE, up 46% today, and it's made a
Every
pretty good move.
every time I hit the buy button, I was up 40 cents. It came up, made this initial move to that topping tail right there, pulled back, and I was like, all right, after this pullback, I'm gonna be looking for entries. So I started entering, I believe, on the break of that red candle right there. And I was playing small, but I mean, even the small moves were like $2, $2 per share. And I was just getting in and out, kept on playing around with it. And I traded it all the way up to the top there, not the top and tail right there. I traded all the way up to the top, this red candle. If you go back to the left,
Go right there.
right there. And then I was like, well, I think it's done with this move. It came down and exploded. It didn't even give me time. It didn't do any kind of consolidation, just exploded up to the 32 right there. And I was like, yeah, it didn't give me any time. But I did try to take one more scalp up there. Off the top, it just didn't work out. And it it just not at the very top. That red, before that big red pullback, there was a little pullback.
This
and I
one
got
right
in
here.
on the dip there. Yeah, there was a little dip at first. And if it act like it wanted to hold up and go higher, but it came down, I stopped out.
Nice. So you got a little bit of profit off of this play. This is a good play.
Mm-hmm. The biggest rip I got was $3 on that one. $3 per share.
Yeah, this almost doubled in price today.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice run. Could be one to keep on watch looking at this daily. So if it can hold 25 tomorrow, then we can see it rip maybe the next day. It may try to give some more tomorrow, but I just don't like that upper wick on it at 30. It's a lot of selling pressure.
And again, this is one that does not get a lot of volume. I started trading it when it was at like 300,000 shares traded.
Man, I only got 6 million in volume.
Yeah, so it definitely doesn't get volume. I really don't understand how it moves so much, and it doesn't have any catalyst. It hasn't had catalyst any of these days that it's went up, but it's had multiple running days.
So it's been on a nice bull run here since December when it first had a big initial rip to 38. It's been having big pops up and just continually slowly climbing. So very bullish. I like the daily chart on it. Once it breaks 30, it's probably going to make a nice run. It just may not happen that soon.
Yeah, and the fact that it has no catalyst on any of these days, it's just kind of like a real pump and dump.
Except for it's not really dumping, though. That's the thing. It's building up. I mean, it has had some big pullbacks, but the rips that it's had are pretty big. So the pullbacks really aren't that big.
Yeah, I would say just take profit quickly, because every time it was showing me red, I was trying to get out, because I knew if it can go up $3, it can go down 10.
Oh yeah, easily. Only 1.5 million shares. Stupid low float. That's one to definitely keep on watch though. So I traded DYAI. So I waited for it to pull back. It pulled back to the 30 here and started pushing back up. So I got in 100 shares at 435. And then it crossed over, so I just got out at 417, took a $19 loss. Man, that stop loss was only 8 cents lower.
Hindsight trading, baby.
Yeah. No, this is a nice move it made. I didn't realize it made this big of a move today.
I don't like when stocks do this, because the only people it helps is people that's going to hold a long time.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that you got to hold all day.
You can't gauge that explosion at all.
Well, you got to play the trend line basically, where you didn't have a trend line to start with, but the trend line started right through there. That would have been the confirmation of the trend line, then a second confirmation. So
Yeah, I
You
understand that, but how can you gauge that type of movement? Look at all the other bounces off the trend line. They're super weak. I think DYA might have dropped some news at that time as well. That might have been the catalyst to make it go up. If you look at that time period,
Yeah, well, let's see. That's that binding term sheet. We were talking about that this morning. That's the same.
maybe they were just repeating it. They put the same news out and got that
Yeah,
bounce.
they repeated it. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Oh, I did jump in MDIA. I just bought a falling knife on this one. It
You
had
bought
to,
that one today?
yeah, it started coming out and popped up there through this big old wick up to 1243, breaking over pre-market high, and then came back down. And I thought this was a double bottom. I looked at it real quick, and I thought there was this tail was at the same spot as this tail, so it was like a tail
Hmm.
double bottom, but it wasn't. It was just a little bit higher, and so it pushed up there, and then it just started dumping, and I just had to get out. So I took a $26 loss on that one.
Even if that was a double bottom,
It
like
wasn't a good
that top,
entry. It was a bad
yeah, I was about
entry.
to say that top and tail was.
Yeah, no, I don't know what I was thinking. And then the only other trade I took, which I'm still in, is AHPI. AHPI made a nice run at market open.
Mm-hmm.
It ran all the way up. I got in 20 shares at 13. Saw this red candle there, followed by the bullish engulfing.
Mm-hmm.
And I held it all the way up to 15 and was holding it to see if it was going to continue to break. And then right around there is where my power went out. So on this, when my power went out is when it started dumping. Like I was still
Yeah.
in right here. And so I couldn't get to my phone quick enough. And by the time I did, it was like right here at like 12:50. And I was like, well, I'll just hold it now at this point. And I've been holding it all day. Still at 12:50.
On that entry on AHPI, can you go back to your entry?
Yeah.
If you look at the volume story, you see how it pumped up that green,
Mm-hmm.
and then it got that smaller red candle. That is a great bullish indicator right there. If you look at the
Yep.
green, the first green candle was big,
Yep.
and then that second dump or that try to dump was super unsuccessful. Then
Yeah.
that next explosion green candle, that was nice.
Yeah, that's what I got in at, was on that explosion, that bullish engulfing over the red candle. But it was a great entry. I should have just locked it in up at 15. I didn't lock anything
Yeah.
in. That was a dumb move there, because I was up what, $50 and didn't lock it in.
Pay
That was,
yourself. Pay yourself.
yeah,
Are
I
you
know.
still doing the whole 30-minute wait thing? Wait the first 30 minutes.
That's a problem. I haven't been doing it. I didn't wait on anything. I should have
Yeah.
waited. That if I do that, I usually do a lot better. But trying to trade in that first 30 minutes, I was expecting. I wasn't going to, and then I got a BTBT, and then I just kind of got in the motions of trading and wasn't really thinking about my rules or anything. BTBT started me off bad. It did me wrong again. It's 2 days. It's got me.
I told you, it's got to breathe, man. You got to let it breathe.
ZEV. Let's see where it closed. So this is that one with that good PR. It did close above $10 today. I like that. Having a short day. Yesterday we had a nice pop up, the big gap up and the pop up. Today getting a sell off. And I would say this pump right here was probably shorts covering. I don't think this was buy and pump.
Yeah.
Because they would have shorted up here at 12.29 in after hours and rode it all the way down, and then they would have started buying through there to cover. And then maybe some buyers popped in, but you can see it just got slammed down at 12 again. So 12 is really strong resistance. If it can
Mm,
break 12, though, 10-day did just cross the 50, and it's pointing up. Break of 12, it's got some room up to 15 about, looks like. Yeah, there's
yeah.
not too much congestion in there. So that's one I'm going to keep on watch.
I told my chat today, I was like, man, I'm going to forget these high flow stocks. I cannot trade them. I get absolutely wrecked every time I trade high flow stocks. Every time.
FLGC is one to keep on watch, as it is getting very close to this triangle break on the daily. Now you can see the selling pressure at 15 that's keeping this down, but the buyers are still pushing it up there. So
It looks like you can shoot.
that's what I'm saying. Like, it is getting very close to another leg up. Have you heard anything about this NRXP? I've had multiple subscribers talk about this one. And it's in this big, nasty, nasty downtrend of a triangle. But it's not going to do anything until it breaks right through here. You got the 200-day and the downtrend both at the same price just about.
I mean, that just does not look good at all. To me, it just looks nasty, man.
I mean, it's not going to do anything until it breaks that area of resistance. Like, it just can't. It's going to need a huge amount of volume. Let's see if they had any news. They had some news yesterday. No, actually Monday. And they just announced the initiation of Phase 2B for a vaccine for COVID. So that's not, I mean, they're just starting Phase 2.
Because, I mean, we've seen multiple mornings of just trash news. Just garbage. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's not been very much good PR at all. It has been very ugly. The market is super choppy. It is what it is. I got to scale back. I got to stop taking so many positions in this choppy market, especially at the same time. It's just not good trading.
Yeah. Yeah, I usually take one at a time. And usually I sit there and watch that one trade because most of the time, like if I'm in 400 shares, I do not want to, even though I put a stop in there, I mean, what if it jumps the stop or something like that? And I'm like, oh my, come back and I'm down, $400.
High risk, high reward. So
that's what I like.
You got to be ready.
Blood sport. Let's go.
So we'll be back tomorrow for some more live stream trading. We should be good to go in the morning for the pre-market show where me and Hal look at a couple of stocks and then have to talk trash to a couple of our subscribers just to get their day started off right. Appreciate everybody joining us as always. Stay safe out there. Until next time.